I've been really excited about doing this, so. And shooting was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, dude.
The 380 is pretty nice, pretty smooth.
Yeah, that was nice.
The
The balance is really good on that.
Yeah, what did you bring over again?
I brought a
The rifle.
oh, it's a Springfield Armory M1A.
Yeah, that thing was sweet. Definitely loud. Throw some heavy lead.
Yeah, yeah, dude. There, it's loud.
That So this is Ben. I've been talking about wanting to get Ben on here for a while. He's my welding buddy from. How long ago did we meet? When was Haverly? 2016.
I started there 2015, and I think you started there like 2016.
Something like that.
You
yeah.
weren't there long.
No,
but-
I made it to my 90 days, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed there until 2018 or end of 2017, and then I left there to go to school.
Okay, yeah. So that was a bridge building company that we met at, and I don't think we knew how close we lived to each other for a while.
No.
And then I think I didn't necessarily follow you home, but it was like, wait, you go down 378, Ben. I just
Yeah.
saw that. And then we talked about the other, yeah, you're like, yeah. I live right off of, I live right by the gas station there. And I was like, no shit.
Yeah, I know
And-
it was cool.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then we were hanging out every day for what? Months. I don't know.
Yes.
At least from, was it before Thanksgiving we started making those roses?
I don't. Yeah, because I remember we were collecting orders for around Christmas time.
Yeah. And I think it led us all the way through Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So we were hanging out together every day for like
Yep.
4 months in your mom's garage, 5 months. Poor lady just heard
know.
"Hey,"
Yeah, all day long,
all
and my
day
dad
into the
too
night.
was like, "You guys are gonna get all the dust out of here when you're done, right?" Yeah. Yeah. My parents were pretty cool about all
Yeah,
that.
they definitely.
Yeah. That
Your
was a
mom
fun
got us
time.
the masks too.
Yeah,
they were definitely
yeah.
supportive.
Yeah, they always are. They're really good about stuff like that.
Yeah, being a welding entrepreneur though is a lot harder than people think.
Yeah,
a lot
harder.
of time, a lot of material.
I remember I was actually just looking back at like Google Memories this morning.
Yeah,
And I remember when we picked up some steel, I think it was from Hoover maybe, and I used my dad's truck and
Probably.
your buddy's trailer.
yeah,
And I never trailered anything before.
yeah.
So I'm trying to like,
What were we getting? What was the material?
I think we got the angle for the tables,
Oh,
we were
yeah.
building,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some pipe for some skate rails.
Yeah.
And I was trying to back this trailer up to their loading dock, and I'm like, I don't know how to back up a trailer. But I was using my dad's truck, which is already huge, and trying to back up a trailer on top of that. So like,
I mean, for being younger, we were making the right moves. I wonder if the Muse, if we would have still been doing it, if the Muse would have made it more lucrative by now, or if it would have been still something where it's just like a struggle. Because I know by the time that you were done, because you were going to school and your wife's career and everything, you kind of moved away. You weren't as close as you are again. But I was kind of digging in a little bit by myself, and I was just like, dude, a lot of these people do not respect you. Like, they don't realize how much they need you, and I don't need them.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, if I walk off this site right now, you're fucked, dude. I don't care. Stop being such an asshole. And then this one guy would hold pay. He'd be like, oh, you got to put an invoice in. I'm like, dude, fuck your invoice. I just told you it was only going to be X amount, and you didn't, you agreed the whole way through for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now you're telling me I need an invoice and it's going to have to wait. So there's two guys actually I didn't even get paid from, and it's not even worth the headache of chasing them.
yeah.
So I know the one guy actually, he kind of got blackballed from working at these restaurants that he was doing. So he screwed himself, and I was on one of those jobs. But yeah, I decided, this ain't for me. Working with contractors and
Yeah, that's one of the things is like I don't really have the experience with is like finding the people that have the job for me to do.
Yeah.
Like I can do the work, but I don't know how to go out there and get it really. And I wouldn't say I have good people skills either. So it's like dealing with that kind of stuff was never really my forte.
Yeah.
And then I do feel like I always hear stories, people don't really respect the trades like they used to. And they kind of take your contractors and stuff for granted a little bit. Throwing shoes.
Yeah. My cats are gonna start pissing me off.
Yeah. They're fun. But yeah, so like when we were just starting out doing the projects we were doing, it was a lot of fun, and we had people that were willing to give us a chance and, work with us on that a little bit. They weren't like super demanding and like, yo, you got to get this done tomorrow by 5 a.m. And they were pretty easy to work with, and it was a really good learning experience, and we had a really good workflow.
Yeah, I didn't do so good on some job sites at times. My own cousin, remember?
Yes, yeah.
He's not really my cousin. He's not really my cousin, but he's like a family friend for my whole life, and he has a pretty successful water business. And he started getting lippy with me over the phone once upon a time, and I was like, you know what, Ben? Fuck this guy. Let's go. We're out. The dude just left. Now you fix your own shit. So, yeah, family or not, I've never really took it from anybody. You know what I mean? The second you want to start disrespecting me, I'm done. I don't care. And then, I don't necessarily look to be petty, but if that's the game we're going to play, I'll be petty. Like, I'll go after your work. I don't care, so. But it was just a game I was over with. It was I already weld enough for my regular job. It started to not become fun doing it for myself anymore.
It's hard, when it gets to that point, like to stay motivated to go keep doing it.
Very hard to stay motivated, especially when you got people calling you, 7 different names till Sunday, and it's just like, dude,
man,
I'm over you.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But the art was really fun.
Yes.
You showed me some freaking sweet roses, and actually, I'm going to pull some of these up really quick.
All right, cool.
Some of these roses that we used to make
I should send you a link to the Google Photos that's got all those in there.
Yeah, I think I have a good bit.
Man, I haven't made one of those in a long time. I've been thinking about, I'm like, I gotta start making stuff like that again.
Yeah,
it's been tough. Like I can use our company shop, but I don't have the equipment there to make those,
I have one still.
Yeah?
I have one rose from that time.
Chelsea's still got all the ones I made for her. I mean, she can't ever get rid of those. She's got to keep those forever. But
yeah, for sure. So they can't see any of this right now. But when I'm ready,
that's a nice weld you got there.
Yeah, right. Let's pull this up. I think this whole.
That's a good one too. I remember that pink one we made. I think you made that for
my daughter.
Yeah, that was really cool. Hot pink.
Yeah. Why is this not coming up? It's interesting why when I click on it, it goes dark, like it wants to come up as a picture. You know what? I think if I go here. But these roses, how long? We made what, 10 roses, and how long would we make them for? Probably, we could do 10 roses in what, 40 hours?
Oh, so I'm trying to remember. We had like 7 or 8 going at a time. So I think we got it down to like a little over an hour per rose. And that's like start to finish. That's cutting all the material, like forging everything, finishing it, painting it.
All right, I'm going to switch over cameras. Let's check some of these out. So me and Ben, we really started off by just hammering out roses.
This is a good one.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my mom's house. Oh, those were some tables that we were doing. We were finishing the wood in his grandfather's wood shop, but this was Sage Alley. We got the the bid to make all the tables for their back patio. We kind of made it an industrial look. You know, the bolts are a little. We obviously didn't need to be bolts, but for look, for theme.
Oh man,
they were
there's
fun.
the garage.
There's bare frames, Weldon sneakers.
Oh man, these were the days, man. Safety first.
Yeah. That's Yeah, so you showed me how to make these things. And...
Yeah, one of the coolest things about working on these with you is like you brought your own touch to all of it. So like you came up with like balancing them on the leaves, and like that was so cool. You figured that all out. So you like it was cool. Like we start to bounce ideas off of each other and like really make something cool.
Yeah, you always motivated me to like work harder. Because you always had a good work ethic. And you were good creatively with your hands, but I always think like, I always have like ideas for some reason. Not if they're good or bad, but I always want to try them.
Yeah, no, it's
and you're never afraid of them.
No, man, you got to try new stuff.
Yeah,
it's like why not? Why not try it this way? Why not make it do that? And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I definitely miss those days.
So right now, you do a pretty cool job, yes. I would say. Actually, before we even get into your job, you went to school at a pretty cool school. You went to Loyola, right outside of Johns Hopkins University.
Yeah, so Loyola, Maryland.
Yeah, that's and then you went there for molecular engineer or not molecular
materials engineering.
Yeah. So explain what that exactly is.
So basically, it's like study of properties of materials, how they behave under certain circumstances or just in general. So like we focused a lot on steels and a little bit on ceramics. So you want to learn about the strength of steel and different properties such as your elasticity, your toughness, and basically use this information when you're designing products or engineering things like bridges. You can select different grades of steel based on these properties, and then we did a little bit of testing on them also, like just like general lab stuff, but materials engineering I thought is really cool because it's the more of the background to like the stuff we were doing, like all the welding. So like whenever we would be forging our roses and stuff, you get it red hot and you're bending it. And it's like before, oh, that's really cool. I see how it works. But then materials engineering kind of teaches you the why of how that stuff works.
Yeah.
And it was just an undergraduate degree. So if I really wanted to get into it, I would have to go farther along that road.
So did you graduate?
Yeah.
With the degree in it, though,
yeah,
right?
I have the degree in that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was there for...
So what do you mean it was a...
So like it's just a bachelor's degree. So you can do bachelor's, master's, or PhD. So
I understand.
I worked at Lehigh University with the graduate student group there, and that was master's and PhD students. So I'd help them out with like mostly welding there and sample prep. I worked with some undergrads there on again welding and lab stuff. So I got to pick up a little bit of this there too. And they're looking at really cool stuff like designing armor plates for Navy ships to testing out just like brand new materials and all kinds of really cool stuff.
So you helped your wife out with a shaker, like a music noise maker of some sort. Yeah. Was that to help you out in your studies as well? Was that like a co-project? You were able to use that for you also?
Yeah, it started out, so she had a class.
So real quick, I've talked about her a lot. Ben's wife is actually the Egyptologist that I like to describe, Dr. Chelsea Hoffman.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get her on here. Hopefully she wants to. I definitely want to get better camera and better microphone for when she comes on. She deserves the best equipment. She does, but she's oh man, I'm just so excited. I want to talk to her. But yeah, so you guys made a music toy or instrument or festival thing?
It's called a sistrum, and it's a rattle, a ritual rattle, and it was used for a lot of different stuff in ancient Egypt for, I mean, all the way from Old Kingdom up through Ptolemaic and Roman periods. It's a like a pretty distinctly Egyptian instrument. They had them in other cultures too, like ancient Greeks had them, and a couple other places.
What is it called?
Sistrum, Sistrum.
Sistrum.
If you want to look at yeah, so like, let's see, what's a good one?
Good one that like you did was kind of more like along this line.
Similar, yeah. Like really, see this one all the way on the right here? The one above that? Sistrum of the Chantress Tapanu. That's the one at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. This is
Let me switch over. They can't see what
yeah.
we see right now.
Yeah, throw that up.
Boom.
So yeah, basically this is what we were looking at. So it's a bronze, usually bronze handle with a hand forged loop, and you got these pins, and the heads of them are little snakes.
Yeah, I remember you were. I was holding it. I was like, man, this thing's heavy.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
you were telling me like, yeah, we just got done forging it, and it wasn't fully together yet, and I was like, this whole thing's heavy, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, and then I think you took it home and finished it.
Yeah.
So I never actually
we
got to see it fully together, but I saw it in pieces. I'm like, and it looked. I imagine it didn't look as rough as it did when it was in pieces. Because the way your craftsmanship is, I assume probably. Do you have a finished picture of that?
Yeah.
Probably not anywhere on.
Yeah, actually, if you want to you could pull up our Facebook page for it.
Okay,
I think we got a picture on there.
Let me go back here.
Or I could send you a picture real quick.
So, is it on that Egyptologist page?
Yeah, experimental Egyptology.
Okay. I think I follow them here.
We started on that as I don't remember what class Chelsea was in, actually. But she wanted to look at some casting methods, ancient Egyptian casting methods, so we got together to work on that project.
So let me switch back over. Boom. So this is Experimental Egyptology. This is their Instagram page, Chelsea Kaufman and Ben Doddy.
Yeah, we haven't posted on here for a while because we've both been super busy. And
is this her site that she digs at?
It's adjacent to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, these are all pictures from one of her recent trips.
Very cool. I hope people follow you guys. It's Experimental EXPERIMENTAL _Egyptology.
Yeah, I know we have a picture of it. There it is. This one, it's pretty rough. I would do a lot of things.
Dude, that's
different.
Cool.
It was really fun to make. I would
looks a lot better than this thing. Oh, there's your solder. I was gonna say because this thing was in two pieces. I remember, or it was like broken or something. You had like a.
So this is actually the second one we made. The first one was
the first one the one I saw.
The first one I don't remember which one you did see. There's actually three. So
this thing looks good.
I don't have a picture of the first one, but then this one was the one that we presented on, and I've had another one like a replica of Tutankhamun's Sistra, and that one has a wooden handle rather than bronze, but the loop on the top is bronze.
That's good. So the one is all the way at the top here with the wooden handle. I think I saw.
Yeah. I still haven't finished it.
Oh, I know where this is at.
Yep, I got it. Yeah. So that's a picture of Tutankhamun's Sistrum, and the wood is actually gilded. It's hard to see in that picture.
So what did this have to do with your educational
so I used
career?
I used it as a research project. So my specific project, I wanted to see how changing the composition and property or hardness of bronze, if it would have any effect on the sound that the instrument makes when you shake it.
Okay. How did they test the sound for that? Or did you just do it as an auditory test?
I just did it as an auditory test. So I settled on three separate bronze compositions. And first, it's really hard to figure out what these actually were made of. Like, we know broadly bronze, yes, but what's in it? You know, some have a high lead content, some have a high silver content, some have gold, some are like a mixed bag, not really very refined. So, and getting data from actual objects from museums is really tough. They don't just, let anyone off the street come in there and say, "Hey, I want to take a sample of this and make some, do some cross sections and you know, do some material testing on this or figure out what's the composition of this bronze." They don't really just let you do that. So you're relying on what other studies have been done, which have that data, and they're not very many. So I wanted to figure out if I could first replicate one, and then what would it actually have sounded like? Because there's not any examples that I'm aware of that we can actually play that are in good enough condition to play. Some might be, but I haven't really seen anything. So my project, if I can get back to it,
Yeah.
I settled on,
Like, did you get a grade for this?
not really. I mean, kind of. I did it as a research class, actually.
So, like, you had to talk about it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I applied for a research fellowship while I was at Loyola, and they liked my project, so they accepted it. And that was, like in place of another engineering class, but it was also, I did two things with it. I did a summer research fellowship, and then I used it for continuing research as a stand-in for a class.
Sweet. So, when did you graduate?
2022,
And when did you make that?
summer before that.
So you pretty much did that as senior, end of your year, kind of
Yeah,
leaning on that to
yeah,
get out of this place and move on to my actual metallurgy career.
yeah,
Would you
pretty
call
much.
yourself a metallurgist?
I wouldn't.
No?
I have an interest in it, a big interest, but I'm definitely not a metallurgist.
Yeah. But you're under the umbrella, maybe? Or
Yeah,
no? Yeah.
I probably, yeah.
I
I
would put
mean,
you under the umbrella.
sure. I know enough to get by, but there's always more to learn.
Oh yeah, it's
So
such a big. I mean, there's a lot more metals, and people just see metal like, it's metal,
yeah,
But
and
it's
that's what's so
yeah,
cool about like the system in particular. Is like I said, people look at it and like, oh, it's a bronze instrument. Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
yeah,
The different parts are different alloys of the bronze. The handle of one in particular from the late period, Roman period, the handle is leaded bronze, which is the lead makes the bronze flow really easily into a casting, so you can get really fine details. But it makes it really brittle. So when you want to work it, it really is prone to cracking.
mm.
And that's one of the things I tested in my research project. The loop part is usually like a more pure copper, like a 98% copper, 2% tin or antimony bronze. And then the discs themselves are, from what I've seen, have a lot of silver in them, which is similar to like a bell bronze, which is like high tin, high silver.
You ever see the way the Romans were fixing like their bronze statues and stuff when they would break? Like the way they like do like I don't know what it's called, but it's like pegging, and they have like they just like twist it onto a peg. Like say the guy's arm or whatever has a
Yeah.
crack in it, they like break it off at like a point where you're not gonna notice that there's a seam, and it's just like a joint, and they just like
Yeah.
re-slide it
Oh
off.
man, their metalworking is really phenomenal. There's I don't remember what museum it is. We've been to quite a few, but
Yeah,
there's a life-size bronze sculpture, and he's missing his back part. So you can go in and actually see the joint that they use to attach the arm to it, and it's like a socket that goes into the arm, and then they run a pin through it, and then they finish over that edge, that
so
seam.
there's so much interior work of
There's a
these
lot
statues.
going on
Yeah,
the inside that you can't see. And
yeah.
even more modern sculptures too. We've got one outside our shop right now that's missing its head and some material on the back part. And when you look in there, you can see where they've run like all thread through it,
Yeah,
bronze all thread
to
to fill
squeeze
like.
things in.
Well,
Right?
yeah, to assemble it, there's actually, I mean, 7 or 8, I think, different sections that are bolted together on the inside, but you would never see it on the
Yeah.
outside. And even where there's imperfections from the casting, like little bits of porosity or a little crack maybe, they'll drill it, tap it, and put threaded rod in there, and then finish over it on the front, so you'll never see it. But they've kind of repaired the crack.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, what's the name? Are you able to say the name of the company you work for?
Yeah, so I work for Cryolic Conservation. We're based out of Orland.
Okay.
And
Orland's close to Philadelphia.
yeah, yeah.
And explain exactly what you guys do.
So we are a company specializing in conservation of architecture, sculpture, monuments, and art. So
in easier terms, you
we,
repair old shit.
yeah, kind of. And I guess I should say my opinions are my opinions and not the company's opinions.
Sure. Yeah, I know. So honestly, we were talking earlier off air. There is some things I guess Ben can't really say or talk about the contracts that he has with a lot of these. They're not vendor with a lot of these companies or other historic
Yeah,
places. You can't. He's not really entitled to be able to speak on exactly what they do, where they do it, and who they do it for. But if it's on the website of his company, he can kind of talk a little bit more into that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and
we'll dig around that a little bit and see what he can and can't discuss on air.
yeah, it's not like a top secret grand conspiracy stuff or anything like that. It's just
Contracts.
ongoing contracts, and clients have their wishes
Yeah.
about stuff. And
Yeah, you're not welding up bombs or nothing.
no,
You're just,
that would be cool.
I mean, so I was asking him. I said, "So what time period are we talking about, like off air?" And well, you can say it.
Yeah, I mean, most of the sculptures we work on are from the last like 150, 200 years. A lot of sculptures from the later 1800s, early 1900s, like war memorials, war monuments.
Yeah.
Some more modern pieces, made within the last 20 years.
And your company's done stuff in City Hall and
Yeah, City Hall, DC, New York, New Jersey, all over the place.
what I remember when you first got in there and you're like, yeah, we're restoring like a copper Jesus or
Oh yeah. He's zinc. So he's from a cemetery in Maryland, and he was affixed to a large wooden crucifix that fell down in a windstorm. This is actually the second time he fell, and just completely like obliterated into multiple sections. So we had to build an armature on the inside of him to mount the pieces back onto, that we could then like ship him as a unit to be reinstalled onto a new cross.
Weren't you telling me that there was a statue, and maybe it's not Jesus, maybe I mixed up a couple of your stories, but weren't you telling me before when you first started there that you were fixing a bunch of copper work that somebody stole out of a statue of some sort? Possibly
You might
not.
be thinking of the War Mother sculpture.
Okay, what was that?
That one is, it's called the American War Mother and Her Sons. It's commemorating service during World War One, and that was a large figure of a woman with her two sons, one in the Army, one in the Navy. It's huge. It's a little bit larger than life, and somebody had I'm not sure when really stolen the head part of her arm and was busy parting out like the back of the sculpture. So it was put in a spot that's kind of off the road a little bit. You really wouldn't know it was there unless you knew it was there. Like, you wouldn't just see it because it's kind of covered by trees and all that. So it was a pretty good spot for somebody to hide out and start cutting things off of this. And they made away with the head and a bunch of the back pieces and, like I said, part of the arm.
Now, what are they going to do with that? It's not like they can make anything from it. It's not like you could take the head of that statue to the scrapyard.
No, I would say, I don't know this for sure, but any really reputable scrapyard would see something like that come in there and say, hey, this doesn't look like something you should be turning in here. So they'll probably bust it up with a hammer or whatever, pulverize it, and try and get some scrap value for it. But what's funny is like the cost of the equipment to get back there, like there's no power, so you got to take a generator back there, you got to use an angle grinder, and the cuts on this thing were huge. They're like 1/4-inch thick blades, so that makes a ton of noise, and there's a neighborhood right there. So like the cost to buy the generator, the grinder and the time requirement to sit there and hack away at this thing is just not worth the couple bucks you're going to get from 30 pounds worth of bronze.
Yeah, it seems
So,
a little
like,
wild.
yeah, it's not worth your time. Don't steal bronze sculptures.
After the Super Bowl, I texted you and I said, "Yo, Ben, you fixing any of the historic light poles?" You're like, "No, actually, I'm going around right now making sure all the swords are in the statues."
Yeah, and I did that on my own just to like see, because we've replaced a couple swords that go missing down there, and some of them are placed in just the right spot. You can use it as you're not supposed to, but people use them to like hoist themselves up
Yeah.
on sculptures, and they're not really like anchored in there super strong.
Yeah. Has anybody ever stolen a sword from any of the statues?
Yeah. Yeah. We actually just put one up the beginning of last year. We replaced a sword,
That's funny.
and it happens all the time. Stuff
That's
always
funny.
goes missing. You know, it's an unfortunate aspect of sculptures in very crowded areas.
So, what do you like? What do you like most about this job? You've been here for a little while.
Yeah, so this is my third year. I like that it's something different every day.
Yeah.
On my first day there, they had me working on a bronze sword that was to replace a missing one, as it happens. And I was like, man, this is cool. I love this. I'm working on this really neat piece, and you can some projects you can really put yourself into it, but some you really want to follow the artist's original intent. That's kind of one of the big things with conservation is you want to preserve what's there. You don't necessarily want to restore it. It depends on what the client wants, but you want to preserve the original intent of the art. So for sculptures, we want to capture what would have been there. If something's missing, we're going to go back and look at pictures or any models or like newspaper articles. So for some of the older ones, it's really hard to figure that out. But that's really interesting too, and kind of a fun treasure hunt, scavenger hunt almost, to hunt down reference images just to know like what should this have looked like.
Yeah.
So that we know what to replace it with if something goes missing or is broken. So my first project was working on a bronze sword that was for one of the Civil War generals in D.C.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's been something different every day since then. We've had a couple big projects that take months to complete, but along the way there's always smaller ones like little sculptures here and there, or we got to make we made a door handle for a mausoleum in one of the cemeteries in New York, so that was pretty neat.
That is cool. What's your favorite one that you've done?
My personal favorite is the McKinley Monument. That's at Antietam.
What'd you do there?
So that one was McKinley is it's granite. We did cleaning and just like looked for maintenance issues on that. So that one it hadn't been cleaned in a long time, so it was really green, had a lot of biological growth on there. So we cleaned all that off. We checked out the pointing work on it. We did a little bit of repointing if it was needed. That one was actually pretty all right as far as the pointing goes. So that one was just straight up cleaning.
There's times when I called you and you're like, man, I've been painting for a few days. What was that all about?
Let's see. There's been a couple of those. We had some gates in there, some cemetery gates from Odessa, Delaware.
Okay.
Those wasn't that many, but they had to be
that a little closer to you.
They had to be stripped down. It's like these old cast iron gates.
Yeah.
The paint like flakes off, and so we scraped the paint off of those, sandblasted them down, and repainted those. I don't do a whole lot of painting there, which is good because I'm not so great at it.
Yeah.
But
nobody likes painting.
It's dirty. Well, it's not dirty, but you can't. At least I can't ever paint anything without getting it all over everything.
No. You remember how much I loved to paint when we were doing those tables?
I do. I do.
I hate it. Yeah. I kind of miss doing stuff like that. Like, when we were just working for ourselves for a while, we were just doing what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So like when you're at work, is it like, do you feel like this is what I want to do?
Yes and no. It's The actual hands-on stuff, yes, like I love it. It's great. It's definitely the coolest job I've ever had so far. Um, but it's not necessarily the projects I want to do. Like, I don't necessarily always want to work on cemetery gates or whatever
Yeah.
particular
Gets
sculpture
old
it is.
quick.
It can, especially for some of the bigger projects, it gets a little monotonous.
That's how I felt with the company I left before going back to Clover, where I'm at now. Just felt like I'm tired of handrails and stairs,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
I'm tired of working on this dude's trucks, like these like aluminum asphalt trucks. You know, they trying to repair aluminum with fresh aluminum and old aluminum on an asphalt truck is just
that's a recipe
yeah, and
for
it's
a
just
long and frustrating evening.
it is, and it was a lot of that, and for some reason I was the guy doing that all the time, and then it was a lot of dirty work, cutting out and demolition,
Yeah.
like concrete inlaid metal stairs that were just like, oh my God, beating the concrete out of them, scooping that out, and then torching the metal part of the
Hmm.
stair tread out. It was months. It felt like it was months, but it felt like years, you know?
Yeah.
I was just getting tired of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, hard work like that, especially if it's not something that you're like super jazzed about, like, oh man,
Yeah.
I can't wait to bust some stairs out of concrete today. It's really going to drag on. You start watching the
Yeah.
clock and you're like, oh man, I've been here all day. It must be
Yeah.
time for lunch. Nope, it's only been an hour.
Yeah, swinging a jackhammer or swinging a sledgehammer and or running a jackhammer. 1 hour of any of the two feel like all day. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun. So I just I didn't love it, you know. And
Yeah.
there was a point in time where I was just like, I don't really even want to weld anymore. And it just kind of I still respect you for doing it and having a passion for it and loving to do it, really. I mean, you're doing cool stuff though. You're fixing historic stuff. You're fixing stuff that like is stamped into history books. You know, you've done
Yeah, some stuff is.
pretty cool stuff. Like, are you able to talk about any of the stuff that you did in City Hall? Well, not you personally, that your company did in City Hall, or
Yeah, so we recently did, there's two equestrian sculptures out, I guess it's the front of City Hall. Um, of General McClellan and General Reynolds, and they're massive.
let's look them up.
Yeah, check them out.
So, what are they?
Just look up Reynolds and McClellan sculptures at Philly City Hall. They should come right
How do you spell it?
up. McClellan. Lots of L's. McClellan.
Statues. Let's do that. All right, let me go back into here. I'm a one-man show, Ben.
Hey man,
Boom.
take your time. This is cool. So yeah, that's
This guy?
yep. So there's McClellan.
What'd you do with him? Or not you guys, but what did you guys
So actually, this is a good picture. This is you can see one of the reins on the horse is missing.
Oh yeah,
His
look at
left
that.
one, and you can't really see it from this side, but I believe his sword is also missing at this point in time. And some of this work was done before I actually started with the company. So that's one of the things that we do is for perfect example, the horse is missing a rein. We'll contract with a bronze foundry and have that piece remade, and then we'll go down and install it. And that's everything from chasing on the bronze, which is like removing the sprue and any core material that might remain, and patinating, and then we'll finish it with hot wax.
Huh.
So typically what we'll do is
Is this the other side of him? Yeah, it is. And then here's missing here it is.
yep, the missing rein, and
He does
yep,
have his sword.
It's broken, so this is a
Okay.
missing, half of the sword is missing.
Okay, so let's see if there's a fixed one. Let's see. Is this it? Yep, here it is, all fixed up.
This is This
No, that ain't
isn't
him.
the same one, but it's really similar.
Yeah, I was about to
So
say that's not Philadelphia. I don't think.
So typically, what we'll do on a sculpture like that is we'll give it a once over, see if there's any things that really stand out, like missing pieces or something that's broken. We'll check it for stability, look for any cracks in the base or any of the legs or the support structure, and then we'll wash it just with water and brushes, clean any of the contaminants off, and then if there's any
Is this the one?
yeah, so you can see the rein is replaced, but the sword is still the broken in half sword, and that's one of the ones that we actually put back up.
So how long does it take to fix something like that to make it look worn and authentic? Because obviously fresh metal doesn't look like that. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
so
Fresh.
how long does that take? How long does it take to beat this up to make it look like? Because I know you guys almost have to. There's probably a point where you just abuse it for probably a minute.
No, actually, we
Really?
don't have to abuse them at all. In fact, we try not to abuse the
Like when you
the
like
sculptures.
fresh. Like
Okay, so
if you were
like
to
a fresh casting, you mean?
yeah.
Um, it'll take us a couple of days. It depends on the size, but the new sword we get from the foundry, it's still got parts of the sprues on it, and it's like a whatever color bronze is, like a yellowish tannish bronze color.
Yeah.
So we'll do any chasing work that we need to on that, which includes removing the sprues or any other um, casting things. And any details that may have been lost in the casting, we'll kind of reshape those. If there's any like modifications we need to do, maybe the one of the rings for his belt where the sword would hang on, maybe it's not opened up big enough, or maybe it's missing a piece or something. We'll make those changes at the shop, and then we'll patinate it, and that could take a day to 2 days to get the color right.
Huh.
I'm still learning how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it seems like it's tricky.
Yeah, especially getting a good patina on fresh bronze. There's a whole art to it, and we've got some really talented guys at the shop that can do a really nice finish on that. So yeah, I mean a couple of days to get a piece like that ready for installation back on the sculpture, and it actually didn't take that long to get each of those finished up. I think we were down there about a week. But just because of the size, even with two guys working on them, it takes a little bit.
Yeah, it's cool. And then what did you guys do in DC?
DC, there was one of our bigger projects is the Logan statue is down there. I didn't. That was the sword that I worked on when I first started.
Okay.
But I didn't actually work on that monument myself. We've had a bunch of different jobs down there. Most of them were before I started. One of the, let's see, I can't remember the name of the fountain down there.
This guy?
I think so. I'm not sure if this is the exact one.
It looks pretty green.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that we will address also.
Interesting. So you said the off air, it was a mouthful of a word, but you were like, what was one of the places that you said you did some really cool work at? Was like one of your favorite places to be at? I almost want to say it was like a Notre Dame type of deal.
Are you talking the chapel?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Princeton. So Princeton Chapel.
What did you do with that?
They have all of these historic light fixtures in there. They're made by Samuel Yellen. There's a couple good pictures, and anyone like the one with the flags hanging up right there.
This one?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So these are before we did the work on the lights. So this was basically a retrofit job.
Oh, you did the lights here.
Yeah. So we cleaned and made some repairs to these light fixtures. There was I think there were.
It's a beautiful building.
26 altogether. Yeah, it's really cool. It's amazing.
It's amazing how they do those arches and how that stone just doesn't
I
fall.
know it's incredible, this type of work. It's really similar to like the older cathedrals you find in Europe, all over Europe.
And yet we have stuff 100 years that starts falling.
Yeah, we don't make stuff like it used to be made. And just this architecture is just amazing. I'm so disappointed in a lot of new buildings. They just are soulless, and there's nothing like exciting about it. You know, I love old buildings. They have a lot of character. They have like traces of the people that built them. You know.
So what do they use this building for?
So it's a church.
Okay.
It's an active church
Beautiful.
on Princeton University's campus.
How far do you generally have to drive to get to some of these places from your actual job site? Like, do you go to the job site or from the actual shop? Like, do you go to the shop every day, or do you just sometimes drive straight to job site?
A lot of times it's just straight to the job site. So if it's more than an hour drive to the job site or whatever, we'll stay overnight if we have to. But you know, I've been back and forth between Wilmington, Delaware. That's only about an hour and some drive.
Do you get compensated for drive time, or
For if it's long enough,
Yeah.
far enough, yeah.
That's
Or
cool.
if it's like included as part of the contract.
So the Jeep wasn't really working for that.
I do take the Jeep down there, but she's got some problems lately.
She's been drinking too, don't she?
Oh boy, sucks down that gas like it's the job, you know.
That's how my truck is. I'm a
Yeah.
quarter tank every hour.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
rough.
it
I
is.
don't have it that bad in the Jeep.
Yeah, she's like 9 miles a gallon.
Yeah, I'm not quite double that. That's rough.
Yeah, but it's okay. I like the truck. I mean, dude, I back it up into the backyard all the time. Do you see how big the fire pit is out there?
Yeah.
I dug that was topped off. I right in the back of the truck, drove it to the tree line, dumped it quick. You know,
Nice.
it's sweet. I'll load that thing up with firewood or whatever, and things definitely done me some favors
Yeah.
over time.
It's good. It's always cool to have a more utilitarian vehicle. You know, just throw in whatever in the back and get it done.
So, how's being married to an Egyptologist who's not home for 3 months at a time?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And frustrating.
Yeah.
And anything and everything.
It's happy. It's sad.
It's sad. Yeah.
It's lonely, but it's also
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
She's great. She's super smart.
yeah.
She's knows so much about so many things. Like
Yes.
Any Egypt question that I ask, she has an answer for. And
Yeah.
if she doesn't know the answer, she knows where to find the answer.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you know, like we talked before, when she is away on a dig, it's anywhere from just a couple weeks to a little over a month. And it's, you know, it's all right. It doesn't ever get easier when she goes away.
Yeah.
But I just find better ways to occupy my time, and like we talk all the time whenever she can when she's there. So like Egypt is, I think it's like 7 or 8 hours time difference. So I'm just waking up and she's just getting off the dig site for the day. So we
Yeah.
have a little bit of crossover time, talk on
Yeah.
the phone before she's got to go to get dinner and before I'm off to work and all that.
Yeah. So do you oh man, I forget what I had on the tip of my tongue. Do you guys so we were talking before, like you don't really set aside any actual date nights or anything, but when she does come home, you were like, yeah, we spent pretty much every waking time and
Yeah.
all our hours are spent together. Do you then eventually start like, man, and not trying to get you in trouble, but is it sometimes nice when she gets to Egypt for the first couple days? Like, it's got to be like, so I'm not, Mick has been gone. She left Friday to go to her mom's for pretty much the weekend. Her sister's getting married, and they had a bridal party of some sort, a bridal shower or whatever it's called. And then today she has a rehearsal for her band. So she's been gone for 3 days. The first night, I was like, dang, you know, she didn't necessarily have to leave right away, but I understood because the morning would have just been a lot more driving, baby's in the car all day, whatever. But by the second night, I was like, man, this house kind of sucks by myself. You know, it's like boring, lonely.
Yeah.
But the first night's just like, you kind of lay there and it's just like nothing. It's quiet. You kind of just like, I'm going to get all the sleep in. And then you sleep like shit. You know, it's just like you think in your head you're getting all this peace and stuff. But really deep down, it's just like, I feel when they're gone. Yeah. But it does feel good at first, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like the first day is a little bit of like, oh man, I'm so free. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, you feel like there's...
say otherwise, and like, you don't have to worry about like compromise and all that. It's like, I can do whatever. I can stay up all night. I can go to the shady grocery store. I can go drive up to my buddy's house and hang out there all day. But then,
that's right. Yeah, you guys eat organic, right? Or she does pretty much.
Well,
so like the shady grocery store, she doesn't do Giant and stuff, does she? Too much.
We'll shop wherever we can save the most money.
I thought she was
pretty thrifty. She's pescatarian.
Okay, I thought she was pretty organic. Like Kimberton would have been right up her alley type of deal.
We not so much.
Okay,
actually, she doesn't really. I guess it's not important. Super important.
Yeah.
We just, if it's a good price, we'll buy it.
What did you say she is?
Pescatarian.
What? So, I've never heard of that.
So she doesn't eat meat products, but she'll eat fish, like veggies and fish.
That's a vegetarian to me.
Well, most vegetarians don't really eat fish. They don't do animal products, including fish.
What about, like, does she do milk, eggs, cheese,
yeah, she'll
like stuff like that?
She'll do milk and eggs and cheese.
That's good. What about, like, so did you hear apparently plants can scream?
I know that in the 60s we learned that they spoke a language that we could also learn in a certain place.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently nature's got
know that they scream.
Maybe. I mean, it's probably a stretch, but they apparently can communicate. So if they can communicate, I'm sure they're screaming.
I've heard stuff like that. Like there's some
ecosystem in the ground that like fungi can transfer messages and trees can transfer messages to other trees. Like when trees start dying in an area, certain trees start really dropping their seeds and acorns a lot more because they know that they're trying to refertilize the ground. And it's just like, it's crazy.
They release like some kind of, I don't know if it's like a pheromone or some compound into the air that I guess that the other trees pick up. I don't really know much about trees.
There's a tree in Africa that like when the giraffes start eating it, it starts giving off like a potency to its leaves, and then the wind takes it, and if the same tree like catches scent of the potency of the one tree that's been getting eaten by the giraffes, it'll start getting sour before the giraffes even get there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought that was cool.
Nature's pretty wild, man.
It is. So it's just like it's hearing this. It's a tree hearing the screams of another tree getting sour already. You know?
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. How long has she done that? The whole time you guys have been together?
Not the whole time. So we got together in 2013. Yeah, 2013. So she wasn't originally on that track for a while until I guess it was, I'm trying to remember all the dates. I guess it was 2014, 2015. She actually went on her first dig. She's always had an interest in that. And I mean, she could obviously tell you a lot more, but
does it stop you from like eating burgers and steaks and stuff? Like I know.
Oh, you mean like how long has she been pescatarian?
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah. Probably since she was 14, 15 or so.
Okay.
So like most of her life.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't really restrict what I eat at all. I just don't really keep meat in the house. Just.
But like if you guys go out and you get a steak and you're like medium rare, do you like give her the side eye? Like you ain't staring at me, right?
Yeah.
Or does she not care?
She's all right with it, but I usually don't.
No.
Try to not. Sometimes I will get like a cheeseburger or whatever, but I usually try to get stuff without meat or get a fish or something like that because we always share each other's food. So.
But I know you like yourself some steaks and ribs and burgers and dogs. And
I like a good cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Steak is all right.
Yeah. big steak guy. We got Butcher Box.
Mm.
Actually, I think we got it as fast as my wife canceled it, and we went to the Paleo Valley people, the Good Pastures or whatever it's called. The shit, I forget what exactly it's called, but it's the Butcher Box is Australian,
Mm.
which I didn't realize, and just not to get too political, but like they're lying to their citizens. They're pumping. I think they're pumping their animals full of these hormones and stuff. And this farm over here is like it's a regenerative
Mm-hmm.
farming, and it's like all natural. The chickens are actually outside free roaming. It's not
Yeah.
considered free roam chickens where they're still locked in a big football field size house.
Yeah.
These things are actually outside in like a real farm, like getting real CO and whatever, but it's good meat. We've been eating steak like every other day for
Nice.
almost all month, and I just feel better. Like I feel like, so I already sleep like 5 hours a night just because I get up so early, but like I drink less coffee. I don't, for a while I was getting like, because I cut a lot of sugar out, like just
Yeah.
straight candy, no more. I drink just water and coffee. We don't have juice in the fridge. Like I have milk in the fridge to cook and or have cereal or just a little glass of it, but like milk's even so much sugar. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no cookies in my pantry. There's very little chips. Like I just tried to cut so much sugar out because that's what cancer lives on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And cancer is pretty high in my family, so seems like everybody's getting it. Even the people that don't get cancer in their family are somehow getting cancers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just we have such a heavy sugar diet, and I just feel like this cutting the sugars out, cutting a lot of heavy carbs out, cutting a lot of like high fructose corn syrups out, and just meat and vegetables is we've been heavy on that. We've been eating couscous. I don't know if you know what couscous is.
Yeah. We eat a lot of that.
Couscous is good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is
So
good.
we've been killing the couscous
Couscous
game.
is good.
Yeah, rice is pretty fire. Yo, couscous is the shit. I was like, what the fuck is this stuff? So we were looking it up. It's just refined rice ball or flour balls. It's just like
Yeah.
how I imagine they make it is the same way they make Dippin' Dots.
I have no idea how they make Dippin' Dots.
It's just like ice, dry ice over liquid ice cream, and it like freezes into a Dippin' Dot.
Oh, like granulation.
Yeah, I was watching how it's made.
Okay.
Oh, you get the little granule couscous?
Yeah, we get the pearl ones.
Yeah, we get the
bigger
pearl ones, too.
Like the size of like an airsoft.
Yeah,
BB,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That's what we
Yeah,
get
those
too.
are good. I like those.
Yeah, I don't like the granule stuff. That reminds me of like oatmeal
Yeah,
Oh.
or
grits.
yeah, grits.
Yeah.
Grits are all right, but
I don't want it for dinner.
No, that's like I'm going to Waffle House for breakfast.
Yeah.
So I'll get the whole shebang. I'll get the
But-
full plate.
You put a half a stick of butter in a cup of couscous with some salt, pepper, a
Yeah.
little garlic. Boy, I'll tell you what.
It is good.
Yep. I don't know if it's southern or not, but it'll turn me southern if it is. You know.
Yeah.
What
No, we eat really similarly. Like I mean, obviously, like without steak and stuff, we eat a lot of veggies, couscous, a lot of Asian food. I love Asian food. So good.
Yeah.
And we got a couple good cookbooks that it's like all plant stuff, and even like how to save your table scraps and make vegetable broth and bouillon out of it.
Ben, you kill
Man.
me. You save everything.
I save everything.
You don't throw shit away.
I don't. Ask my dad.
I know
And
you don't.
There's stuff in the garage that even he doesn't know about.
Ben, you've been, and it's not even hoarding because you find a way to use it. You keep stuff. I'm sure some stuff sticks around for a while.
It does.
But it gets used. Or you're just like, you're not MacGyver because that's 100% your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad
Oh, yeah.
is the MacGyver, but you have a special knack for looking at something, be like, I can save that and use that. Be doing something months later down the road, be like, oh, it clicks. Be like, I have something that I
Yes.
can use this for. And it's fast. I've seen it millions of times, and they're like, go back to the garage and you're like, ha.
Yeah,
It's
digging
like,
around in boxes. It's just like in the
yeah,
cartoons, throwing stuff behind it.
yeah,
Like, here it is.
yeah. You're like, what the fuck is that for? You're like, just wait. And it's like,
Just wait. I
okay,
know.
yeah.
I just did one of those the other day. I don't remember what it was because I'm trying to remember.
But yeah, you come up with
Yeah,
some fancy stuff with some unfancy shit.
it was like, you know, when you buy like a thing of vitamins or whatever from the store and it's got the cotton shoved in the top. I throw it in my bag of like scrap stuff.
I'm sure you
And
keep it.
I needed
I'm sure you keep
like
the
a
cotton.
wad of cotton for something, and I was like, I have just the thing. All that cotton that I saved. There it is.
You saved the cotton from Tylenol bottles.
Yeah. Why not? And it's good, right? Oh, and I saved some barn door hinges from my grandfather's wood shop, and they were just in the junk cart in the garage
That's good
for a
though,
while. And
because old hinges are gonna work forever.
yeah, well, I actually just made some brackets for my brother's house out of those.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got just the thing. There's old barn door hinges in there. They're perfect for your. He's making like a beam hanging in from his ceiling in his kitchen that's gonna have a light bar hanging down from
He's
it.
been getting pretty handy.
Oh yeah, I'm really impressed with the work he's been doing at his house.
Yeah, I remember when we were being handy our own selves, and he was just kind of tinkering around and playing with his bike and
Yeah.
doing this, that, and the third, not really caring about doing stuff. And then all of a sudden, like a page turned, and your brother is just a totally different guy.
He had some kind of awakening. And
He had like a revelation, found
Yeah.
God, and just changed his whole life and ran with it.
Yeah, he really did.
I don't know if he found God. I don't want to speak for him, but I know he's deep into God right now. But I don't know if he was always like that or not.
I was a little kid, kind of, and then, you know, he kind of got away from it in high school and all that stuff, and then I guess he found his way back to it.
Yeah, but yeah, he's killing it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him too.
Yeah.
Him and his wife. I love his wife. Me and my wife have to send your brother and his wife a baby gift yet. We unfortunately weren't able to make it to their baby shower. Mick is getting busy with her shows and doing all kinds of stuff. But you walked in the house, you're like, oh wow, you have one of Lexi's art paintings, and I was like, yeah, she, you know, it's one of my favorites. But she actually gave that to us for Gianna's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
But yeah, and I'm not gonna not get them something. You know what I mean? That thing's so cool. I love it. But I think I'm gonna wait till the baby's born a little bit. Now I'll probably talk to you, be like, "Yo, do they have this? Do they have that? Do they?" And eventually you're gonna be like, "No, I don't think they have that." And I'll be like, "I know what I'm getting them then." You know what I mean? So I'm gonna wait. I think a minute and let them let it get settled. You know, it's very hectic before the baby, and you think you need all this stuff when really you don't. The baby's gonna decide what it wants. You know what I mean? Like we have swings, that swing right there, and we have another one in the back room. Baby don't want it. She ain't a swing kind of gal, you know? So but if we have another kid and the baby might be a swing baby, I have no idea. But we have like, that swing right there is like $400.
Oh, man.
Yeah, look at it. It looks like it's from iRobot.
Yeah, I saw like it's got all these cords and stuff on there. It looks pretty high tech.
Yeah, baby don't like it.
Oh,
Nope.
That's
Nothing.
sucks.
So it's just like, you know, we have little bassinet sleepers that I would love to give your brother, but the wife's still like, you know, well, let's just keep it for now because if we have, I think she's planning on having, I think she thinks we're having a baby sooner than we are, and I'm gonna put my foot down on that one because this one's tough. I love Gianna, but she is hard.
Like, in what ways? Like, does she not want to go down for bed and stuff? Or
I'll give you a timeline.
yeah.
So we'll start off at 7 in the morning. It's when she wakes up, which is fine. 7 in the morning is a great time. Sun's up. I'm cool. I wake up at 4 o'clock anyway. Wife's usually up about 6, but 7 o'clock, 7:30, baby starts waking up. Perfect time. Baby's happy as fuck. Baby's great. Baby eats. We figure out what we're gonna do with the day. No, I'm talking. It's a good Saturday. It's a Saturday. It's about 60 degrees outside. All right, at this time, And about 10 o'clock comes, and the baby will start getting a little fussy. And all we do, Mick will put her on the boob. Baby will start eating, fall asleep, probably 2 hours. Wake up, midday, happy again. Sounds great, doesn't it?
So far.
Sounds like we have the life. Call it 2 o'clock hits. We are now starting to get into our witching hour. We've had enough fun as we need for the day. Okay? 2 o'clock comes. We're now deciding what we want to do because we know the baby's got to move. So are we going to go take a walk at the park? Are we going to go to the store and do our shopping now? Because if I can strap the baby to my chest to walk around, she's fine. So like shopping when the baby's fussy is actually not the worst thing in the world because I have her strapped to my chest with like one of them baby born strap things.
Yeah.
And she loves that, you know. By 3:30, 4 o'clock, you better have a meal for her ready, aka Mick better be like around so baby can eat. And she's gonna need a nap. But Mick hates putting her down for a nap around 5 because sometimes she'll sleep till 7 and then she's up till 10.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, or if sometimes Mick doesn't put her down, now she's overtired. She's been screaming for an hour and now she's so tired she won't go to sleep. So it's just like from 2 till whatever time she finally goes down is a nightmare. It's you're running miles with her attached to you. You're bouncing her. You're listening to the same 5 songs on repeat. You're watching the same 3 cartoons on repeat, even though they tell you you're not supposed to. But I'm telling you what, when your baby's crying and nothing works, and all of a sudden there's a little sound coming from a YouTube 33-minute cartoon, whatever it is, and that's the only thing that's going to calm your child, you're going to play it. And you're going to say, whatever Google's telling me can lick my butt because I don't care. My baby is calm right now. You know, like you can only do so much of what the internet tells you is right. You know, eventually your daughter's just going to, or your son or whatever, is going to tell you what. They're so little. You know what I mean? They don't. It's their world. You're literally living in it. You're just trying to make them as comfortable as you can until they can talk to you. You know, you don't know if it's a bellyache, a headache, they're bored, they want something. I have no idea what it is. But if this cartoon's going to make them stop because we're obviously not, there's a language barrier going on.
Like, that's definitely one way to look at it, right?
Like she's 17 weeks. We can't communicate the way we think we can. But when she's done crying, I know she's good. And if it's roly-poly-oly that's doing it for me, so be it.
It's a classic.
Yeah, but she likes some of that stuff. And, there's literally like 5 songs. Luke Combs, Where the Wild Things Are. There's super simple songs. It's a YouTube channel. It's for babies. There's like 2 songs on there where she flips shit, like super happy when it's on. She likes Thunderstruck by AC/DC. And she likes, there's so many more, but regardless, there's like just she loves Third Eye Blind and Goo Goo Dolls.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
both them bands. Like, I think it's just the flow and how they both like that guitar is just kind of like very mellow in those 2 bands. She loves that type of music. So it's just like, you can only listen to, I've been listening to those 5 things I just named for the last 4 months on repeat. But at this point, it's like, do I want to listen to the baby cry or do I want to listen to this song again?
Well, I think there's an obvious answer.
Yeah, we're listening to Where the Wild Things Are again. So, but the baby is a blessing. I love her to death. When she's good, she's good. But when she's bad, she's relentless. It's not like she's just a little fussy. It'll get better. That's what people were saying. Like, after the first 30 days, it was like, oh, she'll turn around the second month. Second month came over. Oh, she'll hit a different gear in the third month. Third month she did for like a week or 2. And that was it. Then she hit the 4 month and everybody's like, oh, it's just a 4-month regression. It's like she never stopped. She's been crying for 4 months so I love her to death, but I I think Mick thinks we're having a baby sooner than we really are, and I'm just tired of the crying right now. It is funny though, like when I go out and I hear a baby crying, it's not as annoying as it used to be. I can listen to a baby cry in public compared to like a year or two ago. A year or two ago, I'd be like, get that thing out of here. Oh my God. Now it's like, oh, little baby.
Yeah, because you can commiserate with the parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just like, yeah, I can relate. And I can almost relate to the kid too. Like, yeah, it sucks out here. It's cold or it's hot or it's like.
I remember being a kid, being in places I didn't want to be. I was like, I hated it. And you know, hear a kid like
strapped into a car seat that you don't want to be in anymore. It's like, I get it.
Yeah, you put yourself in the kid's shoes. Like, man, I know it sucks for you.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like not that bad for me anymore. You know, before you'd see a kid freaking out in the car seat at like, I don't know, the Giant, and you're like, come on, man, get that kid outside. But it's like, no, people need to get groceries. People need to eat. You know what I mean? Yeah. We've already been a Giant where Ava's freaking out. And like, it's all the older people. They come up and they're like, oh, little baby. You know, it's just, it's fun. It makes you have an appreciation for somebody else's crying baby. You appreciate them as a parent a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you kind of appreciate that kid a little bit. You're like, you know, we'll all get over it. Everybody's going to get over this.
So you learn a lot about yourself, I guess.
Yeah, you grow. You know, being that Ava's 13, I don't think I was as good of a father as I am right now to Gianna as I was to Ava. There's 2 years of Ava's life where I would consider myself a steady alcoholic. I would consider myself somebody who had very low goals and ambitions to really go anywhere. You know, I wasn't welding. I was a pool guy, a bartender, and a server at another restaurant. Like, my life was a nightlife surrounded by liquid poison. And in the morning, it was around mansions and places where I should never be, just cleaning their pool. You know what I mean? It was a miserable life because I'm looking at the things I want and then going to the places that I hated, you know, and then that would follow me home and I would just be like in my bag about life and just upset. And I wasn't a present father at the time, and I wasn't a good father. And, you know, with Ava, I don't think I understood how hard it really was because I was fighting my own battles too. I was too young. I was really too young. But now that she's older, I'm the best version of a dad that I definitely can be to both of them, you know, and stopping drinking alcohol was huge for, I would say, Mick, without her even knowing it, you know, not even just like Ava's life, Gianna's life, my life. I think Mick is the one that benefits the most from me not drinking a lot. Because I don't want to be home if so. I want to go out. I have FOMO if I start drinking. I think I'm missing out on all this fun stuff, and really I'm just killing myself in my life, you know? But
you like cut it all out, like completely, or just like mostly cut out?
The last time I got any kind of tipsy was my wedding. The time before that, I think Mick could agree. I think that was the only time she's ever really seen. Now, Mick has seen me drunk a couple times. The night I came home from my bachelor party, because all we did was sit in a limo and drink. We went to go to Lehigh Valley Grand Prix, and the second we got there, the power went out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we just drank all night.
Wow.
So I actually got drunk that night. I've probably been drunk 4 times since we've been together, you know, and every time is a good time. I don't think I've ever had a negative experience with her while drinking because, I mean, we've never had an argument. I think this last week and a half, this last 10 days have been mine and Mick's most taxing 10 days of our whole relationship. And it's just because, like, life, you know, the baby, the bills add up. We're getting teased with nice weather here and there. It's just like, you know, you want something to finally, like, happen. You know what I mean? And I feel like we both felt like we're just in a rut. which I don't think we are. I think it's just, you know, mental stability and life hitting each other at the same time.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a frustrating time of year in spring. Everything's dirty from the winter. It's cold, it's warm, it's not, you know,
Yeah.
dealing with that stuff and
Yeah. You want to go
tax
out,
time and
you know, baby's been crying. Yeah. So,
yeah.
like, I think, and we've been dealing with that for 4 months, and we've just been hunkered in together. Like, you and your wife, me and my wife spend every waking minute together. And it's just like, she didn't leave on Friday because we needed a break by any stretch of the imagination. I actually didn't necessarily want her to leave Friday, but I understood like why. It's a lot less taxing on the baby and her. But it's like maybe it was good that she left on Friday because like I can't wait for her to get home.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait to have a nice dinner and hold the baby tonight, and I almost want to hear the baby cry. I miss it. You know, I was laying in bed the other night and I was like, or this morning. I was laying in bed this morning, and when I went to get in the truck, I was like looking around for the baby. You know what I mean? I was like, it's almost in my motion of like morning progress to go and check in the baby's room, see if she's on her side, on her back, whatever. Because I wake up before everybody does still, and yeah, just I don't really know where we're going.
I don't know. We kind of just yeah. I can definitely I can't really relate to everything because I don't have any.
Are you
kids,
ever gonna?
Probably at some point.
Is she gonna want to stop traveling?
No, that's one of the things that we always talk about is like, well, when we do have a kid, how are we going to manage all of this? And I think you.
How far are your parents from retirement?
I don't know. I don't know if my dad's ever going to retire. I think he probably would, but
what about her parents?
I don't know. Her dad's got a couple years yet.
What about her mom?
I'm not sure. I mean, a couple years also.
That would be the time for you guys, I would think, because such a busy life with her lifestyle and your sanity. So I'm not trying to get Andrew Tate-ish here, but like the job of a man is 100% not to be alone with a baby for an extended period of time. We are not built mentally that way. I'm telling you right now, it is way more taxing on a man than it is a woman. We're problem solvers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas they're nurturers. When the baby starts crying, I want to figure out why you're crying and I want to solve that. So when you're crying for 30, 45 minutes, I'm now defeated. Now we're both upset. Mm-hmm. Not Mick. She can just just bop this baby all day. So like having parents around would be super beneficial for you guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I see you struggling, not because you can't do it, but because you're a problem solver, Ben.
I do the same with Chelsea. Like she's stressed out about, something, job search or school or just having a bad day. And I'm always like, all right, well, here's the solution to the problem. Like, a family argument or, the job search is tough. I'm like, well, the same thing. I like to solve the problems, but sometimes I end up not really like truly listening to what is upsetting her about that. And I kind of sidestep that and I'm like, I've got the problem figured out. You don't have to be upset anymore. Mm-hmm. But she's still upset and she needs somebody like to just listen.
And then it gets frustrating for you because you feel like you have the answers.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've got this figured out. There's all the sadness can go away.
Yeah.
And she's still in it. And then I feel bad. I'm like, I guess, I got to work on that.
Now try that all by yourself with a baby that doesn't understand you.
Yeah, yeah.
Therefore, you need her mom or your mom to be retired to be able to watch this thing while you but to be able to watch your son or daughter while you go to work and she's overseas for however long. And that's going to be another tough thing for her. Like, I don't want to speak for Chelsea, but I think that she thinks that she's just going to be able to go to Egypt and leave her baby behind. Mick has a hard time going 30 minutes down the road.
Well, yeah. I honestly, I don't know how it would go.
Yeah, like you love Chelsea, right?
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely.
Chelsea loves you.
I think she does.
You
She's
have
still here.
You have a baby with her. You're not gonna be able to compare that love that you're gonna have for the baby as you do. Like, I love Mick.
Yeah.
I will die for Mick. Like, I will, if somebody came in here with a gun, I'm jumping in front of that bullet and hoping that she's racking her chamber on her gun to be able to shoot back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking myself out in order for her to be okay. My daughters, like, there's a whole nother level to that.
Yeah.
Like, with Mick, I'm thinking about it still, but I'm still doing it. The daughters, there's no thought process. There's like, what in the world do I need to do to make sure that these most precious things in my life, the things that I love the most, are going to be okay? You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole different level to love when you have a child. So, like, her leaving, I don't think is something that she's really doing the math on. You know what I mean? I don't see her going aboard for at least 18 months while that baby's here.
Yeah, I mean, probably for a good while, we'll both want to stick close by, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's my thing. Is like, I don't want to leave her to raise a baby alone. Like, I want to be involved for every step of the way as much as I can be. And like, I don't want to put the burden all on her or all on me. Like, we're a team, you know. We do everything together, and I want to support her. She wants to support me.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the rest later, I guess.
Would she ever have like a passion for working in a museum, like like an Egyptian museum in Philadelphia or the one in DC, perhaps? You know what I mean? There's a really good one down there.
Yeah, I know. That would definitely be in the cards for her if she could get into a museum. That would
Now,
be good.
if she were to do that, is she giving up a spot to go back to Cairo?
Not necessarily. So it depends if the museum. Maybe some museums have missions that go to Egypt.
Yeah.
So you can get on one of those and go over there and work on their sites, or you can maybe secure funding from one of them to go do your own excavation over there. The permit stuff with Egypt is really complicated.
Yeah.
They're very particular for who they'll give a permit to, and even if just because you've had one in the past doesn't mean you're going to get one again.
Yep. I was saving not that you're brushing up on it, but that's something I'm definitely leaving for her to talk about.
You'll have to ask her about it.
Yeah, because I know that's a good chunk of talking point right there too. Is like how you restore your spot to get in there, and I know that like if they think that you're doing like unconventional work or digging that's not necessarily leading to much, like they almost call it damaging to like property, like they'll just take your access to the site like that, like if they think that you're just abusing the digging permits and stuff.
And even if you go in there with some agenda and you got something to prove, like socially or whatever, not so much focused on the archaeology.
They'll strip your access, and
probably.
And she was saying how like so I'm gonna leave it to her. It's so cool. There's some really cool points to it.
But yeah, she would if she could work at a museum. I think I wouldn't say it's her end goal necessarily, but it would be something she would do.
Yeah. What about you? You ever want to work in some sort of historical museum? Because I know you like history.
I love history, man. I've loved history since I was a kid, you know, and I still do. And if I could get into something like that, like bridging the job I have now, like conservation and work in a museum setting on stuff that's a little more curated, like more what I'm personally interested in, I think that would be
like imagine so cool. Fixing like antique cannons or old rifles, muskets, heaven. Like setting up like displays of like reenactment displays with using the old perfect equipment. I know that's I could see you doing stuff like that.
I mean, you've seen my collection and stuff. It's I love it. That would be the ideal spot for me is a place like that.
Yeah. I mean, you have like some of the most enjoyable experiences that I wish I could have in the aspect of work related life. Like you've seen and done cool things in cool spots. Like I think the coolest place I've ever been was the same cemetery you were at in Brooklyn, New York, or not Brooklyn. Woodlawn. Is that what it's
There's
called?
Woodlawn and there's Greenwood.
Greenwood
Yeah,
Cemetery.
both
Yeah,
amazing places.
yeah. That's like and Rosalie Capone's in there, and they have like generals and stuff like that, and it's just like that was a cool spot to be in. And then like I hear you talk, I'm like, damn, I would love to do that, or fuck Ben,
Yeah.
like get me a job there, and then. I think about it. I'm like, man, I'm comfy where I'm at. I like Clover. I'm 10 minutes from my daughter. I make good money. I'm Monday through Thursday. I'm home Friday, Saturday. Well, not right now, but usually I'm only Monday through Thursday, 10-hour days. I ain't leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I like hear you talk. I'm like, damn, I would love to work with Ben.
I wish we could work together.
Yeah.
We have a really good like workflow.
Oh, we always have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
Never argue, never get in each other's way. We
No,
always
and
just bounce
We're
really
each
well.
like several steps ahead of the other. Kind
Uh-huh.
of like you're already working on something, getting it ready for when I'm gonna go over there, and
Yeah.
I've got some like we mesh really well.
Yeah, it's because we see the end product and we don't need to talk about how to get there.
Yeah.
So that's how good fabricators work together.
And it's interesting because like, I was thinking about it the other day. It's like we really didn't ever sit down and actually communicate exactly
Never.
what we're doing.
We just built
We
things.
just knew
Yep.
like the direction to go,
And-
and I feel like we have really good communication without like
Yeah.
a lot of.
We would draw
Actual
something on a piece of paper with a coffee stain on it, and probably with a Crayola crown, and look at it, be like, "You get it? Yeah, I think so. All right, let's go for it."
And the other great thing was neither of us. I mean, I think never really brought an ego into it. It wasn't like,
Never.
oh, if we don't do it my way, it's we got to do it this way. This is the only way. It was like, hey, whatever way is
No.
gonna work. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's try it like that. And
I was always in the way of, Ben, if you help me here, I will make it totally worth it for you because I'm trying to get off the ground too.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I've always just tried to been as fair and even as I've always could been, and I think that's right where that line laid. Like there was no ego. Like I know without you, I'm nothing. You know, and
it's the same.
Exactly, yeah,
I
so-
can't. I don't have your people skills.
yeah, and there was plenty of skills of yours that I didn't have, and it was just like,
yeah, I mean,
you need a team in order to be successful, and I knew without you I wasn't able to be successful, and I felt like I was putting in the work that without, not sounding egotistical, but without me there wasn't a whole lot of work.
no,
You
because
know.
you have the connections. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really like talking to people sometimes, and I don't know how. I'm
So yeah, we yeah, we were like we were a pretty good duo for a while, and I was and even when it ended, I was sad because everything that starts always comes to an end. It doesn't matter. This whole podcast one day is going to come to an end. It started.
yeah.
It's got to end.
However that may come about.
So like I knew once upon a time that Concept Welding wasn't going to live forever, or at least have a pause to it. And Ben, we could even start it again in a year or two. Who knows? You know what I mean? I still weld. I just don't do it for myself right now. It's not that I can't, but I mean, forget where I was going with it, but shit. Regardless, I don't think that I don't really remember where we were going with it, Ben.
I don't know. I will say I think it's important to find things that you really have a passion for, and you wake up not thinking like, oh man, I gotta go do that today. You wake up and you're like, I can't wait to go do that today.
Yeah.
And it's not a drag. It's not like a struggle. You don't have to think twice about it. You're like, yeah, let's go get it done. And that's the thing you gotta find.
Yeah, we had a good ambition to us. Hey, never know. One day maybe we start ripping some beads again.
Yeah, man.
That'd be fun. I have your welder.
Oh yeah.
It's right in that door right
Oh,
there.
nice.
Yep, I keep it inside. The gas tank is outside, but it's in the garage. But the expensive stuff,
Yeah.
in here, it's in the driest room in the house. So,
Perfect.
no
I know you
humidity.
take good care of it.
Oh yeah, I have never even used it while I've been here. Oh no, I lie. I did. I used it off the 110. The TIG upsets me.
Yeah.
I think we did that boat, and that was it.
I don't know. Something popped on the board. I even sent it out to them.
Yeah.
And they said we could fix it, but you may as well just buy a new one at the
Yeah,
price
I
that it
remember I
costs
tried to
fix it.
plug it in to do something on the motorcycle I was trying to build in my garage. Is that where it was? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had you coming over. I was like, Ben, do I have this wired up wrong or something like that?
It's kind of idiot proof. There's
Yeah,
no way
and
you
you
can
came
get
over,
it
you're like,
wrong.
no, this is all good. And I'm like, dude, I can't get this to work. It's just like blowing my breaker.
We have the same machine at the shop, and we've maxed that thing out quite a few times, and it's still hanging on. Like, never really had any major problems with
Swap
it.
them out.
Yeah. Hey, the welder's broken. What are we gonna do now?
Yeah, it's so crazy. I don't. Do you guys pump aluminum with it?
Not a lot, but sometimes. Yeah.
I wonder if we were like starving the board. I wonder if the aluminum was like trying to pull more amps.
I don't know. We just did an aluminum sculpture a couple weeks ago with a good amount of aluminum welding on there, and it was a tank. So I know it's a good machine.
And that's the other thing. I forget what it's called, but you never like hit the we never hit the limit on that.
No,
when you were welding up that big crack on that kid's boat. That's the last project I can think of that anybody did anything with it.
Yeah, I think so. It's a machine. Sometimes things happen, but the nice thing is you can fix it.
But not that one.
It can be fixed. It's just isn't cost effective.
Just buy a new one.
Yeah.
That sucks.
We just got an XMP.
You know what we should do, Ben?
At the shop. What's up?
When you move closer, we should do enough work with that welder that we can get yours back.
I'm down with that.
I think we should do it. I know we can.
Let's make some roses.
Ugh.
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 Oh, I don't want to make roses.
I don't have a acetylene torch anymore.
I still got mine. It's actually at Chelsea's dad's house.
Nah. Yeah, we can do roses. You know, that's actually a good idea. If we could almost do them here. I don't have 220 though. I don't have 220 set up out in the shed out there. Barn, shed, garage, shop.
Whatever that structure is.
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah. Do you have 220 accessible anywhere?
At the shop, yeah. At the company shop.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I have 1/8 inch material in here still. I just don't have stem material. I could take that to work and cut as many.
I think I have like
petals and leaves out as we need.
I might have like 20 feet worth of rod at my dad's garage still.
9, 8. You can do 8-inch stems.
Yeah, we can squeeze them out.
Yeah, 8-inch stems at 20 feet is what? 8 times you get 3 and 2 feet.
What's that? 240 inches.
Yeah.
I can't do math.
Yeah, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's like I don't know. 30.
Yeah, about 30.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, 30 roses ain't bad. It's $3,000. It's a welder.
Yeah, that's 2 welders.
Is it 2 tigs?
Actually,
Nah, they're because we're getting an ESOP this time.
All right.
I really don't want to get into the welding business again.
Yeah,
Ben.
I know.
But if there's a TIG to be bought, it's going to be an ESOP this time.
All right. I never used ESOBs, but we did. We just got Miller XMP. I think it's a 450.
Okay.
For the shop, and it's a pretty good machine.
Big Rebel fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when I was talking to you about the ESOP Rebel when we were talking about?
Yeah. Did you actually get it?
No, but I was using them at FabTech when we went up there for a while. The guy was like jumping on it as people were using it and everything, and like, dude, they can take a beating.
Man, I've always wanted to go to FabTech.
We should go.
It's like a couple grand to go, isn't it?
Well, altogether, yeah, because you got to get the hotel for a few days, the pass for a few days, the plane tickets. When I went, it was in Chicago. That was fun, but then the very next year was in Vegas, and I just didn't go to that one.
Yeah, it's far.
Yeah. I think they only do it in 3 or 4 cities. I'm pretty sure it's Chicago, Vegas, and I either want to say Jacksonville or Austin. It's one of them two. But it's definitely Chicago and Vegas, and then one other city. But they're fun, man. It's not something you bring a family to.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of boring for a lot of people because you're just looking at vendors selling their shit.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be exciting for us.
Yeah, you're looking at like welding rigs.
Yeah, oh, this one can run that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this new filler metal. Ooh,
Yeah.
you say I can run that vertical and over?
Damn, look how thick that wire is, Ben.
You mean I don't have to clean the rust
Yeah.
off first?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
it's wild stuff. But you do get like really cool stuff. I mean, remember how much stickers and little like squeeze toys and keychains, and I came back with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I still have a bunch of that stuff. So what have you been up to?
Work.
Yeah, shooting guns, working.
I haven't been shooting for a while.
No.
Today was the first day, and since man, I don't know. It's been a while since last summer.
Yeah, I got to build that backstop up a little bit more. But it was
No,
fun.
that's a great spot to shoot.
Man, I got a frog in the old throat.
Yeah, you do.
I think I got it. I'm all throughout my water and coffee.
Oh, you need a refill?
I'll go get some later.
All right. Yeah, just keeping busy at work. I got a lot of projects at home. My own little restoration projects here and there. I've been working on this antique coffee mill and a paper slicer for a while.
I'm sure you have.
Oh, I have.
It doesn't even surprise me. Antique paper mill.
I got these really sweet lampshades. I think they're 40s or 50s vintage. They're big. They're like, I don't know, they're 22 inches tall.
Where do you keep this stuff?
Everywhere. we're running out of room.
I was going to say, because I know for a while I've been holding on, not that I'm complaining because I like having it, but I know for a while I've been holding on to that welder. And I know for a while it was at your parents' house. Then it moved to Chelsea's parents' house. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm sure you have a storage unit. I'm sure you have stuff here. I'm sure you have stuff at your mom's. I'm sure you have stuff at Chelsea's dad's. I'm sure you have stuff everywhere.
I'll put it
Grandma's.
To you this way, like, if I ever disappear, nobody will miss me because I've got little pieces all over.
Everywhere. Oh, Ben, I would miss you way more than you realize. Yeah. Yeah, you're one of the truest friends I think I've ever had. Like you said, we've never had an ego issue. We've never had a...
No,
it's always been this right here.
Yeah.
Every time. I mean, I'd come over, Ben, what do you want from Duncan? Ben, we drinking beers tonight? Ben, you know what I mean? It's always just been like, yeah, I think so. Or, nah, not tonight. And it's always been like, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes so natural.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've always been really good to bounce energy. I think that's how you are as a person, though. I think you're just compatible with everybody.
I try to just stay chilled out, take it as it comes, and be flexible. And,
Yeah, I don't think you're much of a egotistical you don't compare your ego to anybody. You know what I mean? Like you're the type of person that could have an ego. Like not internally, not mentally, but like what you do is, if somebody who had even just a little bit of an ego had like the experiences you had, you would never hear them stop talking. But it's like, come on, Ben, like you have the coolest job. You have like some of the coolest like experiences, and like you just don't embellish yourself in them, which is fine. It's enjoyable to be around people like you. But sometimes it's okay to like let your ego out a little bit and be like, oh yeah, we worked on, like I did that. You know what I mean? Or it's like,
I'll take Chelsea around sometimes and we'll go like, hey, look at that. See that sculpture over there? I worked on that. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. But like, that's your wife. You're supposed to say it's your wife. You got to tell everybody sometimes, like you post nothing. Like you don't share any of the cool stuff you do with anybody but your wife.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like there's a room to have a little bit of ego when you're Ben, and you have none.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a private person, but I guess I kind of am.
You're very private. You're very reserved. Really... I would call you more reserved than private. I don't think. I think you're more shy. No, you're not shy. I think you portray yourself to be more shy than you really are.
It takes a while. Once I get to be like real good with somebody, I think I open up a little more.
I'm gonna go fill my water up really quick, Ben. But yeah, I do think you're gonna. I do think that you're a little bit more shy than you really portray yourself to be. I think that there's when Ben gets a beard too in him, Ben starts coming out a little bit,
Yeah, I'll come out a little bit.
and fun Ben gets fun. Like fun Ben that you when Ben starts cracking jokes, when Ben gets when you laugh and the tongue comes out right there, yeah, I'm like, yep, Ben's feeling himself. Ben's about to get funny. And me and Jimmy were talking about that. Where was that? Maybe your wedding, and you used your grandfather's sword to cut the cake.
Yeah.
And you licked the icing off the sword. I'm like, uh-oh, Ben's about to get nutty.
Yeah,
And Jimmy's like, I've seen that face before. But it's like, there's certain times where it's like, that's Ben. Ben's about to start coming out. And then you have this, but not this Ben, because you're relaxed. You know what I mean? But like, if you had just come over 3 minutes ago and got you on here, there's a Ben that's just like super reserved, takes a minute, and just like, you don't have an ego. And there's people out there with just a little bit of ego that they've done what you've done, you would never hear the end of it.
Oh yeah, I've heard those people before. You know.
Yeah, but you can. You're allowed to. You're allowed to. I don't want to use the word "be proud" because apparently that's a sin, but I am going to use that word. You're allowed to be proud and put your stuff out there. I love when I see you put your stuff out there. Like that Experimental Egypt page was really cool for a while.
Yeah, like I said, we kind of just stopped working on this stuff. I still have it all. I could pick it up anytime, really.
You definitely should.
I know I should.
Yeah, like when she comes home from digs, I assume she's got all kinds of pictures.
Always, yeah. I mean, I got her a couple years ago on one of her first trips on a dig site. I got her like a camera kit, like lens cleaning stuff and like extra memory cards, and I was like, hey, fill these up, you know, I want to see all the pictures. And she filled it up. She had like 2,500 pictures, even more probably than that. She takes a lot of pictures, and so we looked through all those. And
there is no reason why you can't be posting a picture a day
I know, so
and
many.
with like, you have, I don't know if you have a writing degree, but you've written some lengthy papers and have traveled to Arizona to speak to groups of people about these topics that you've written on. I know you know how to write. I know you guys are more intellectual than you give yourself credit for. Put a picture out there, put a sick bio under it, and do something every day. That might catch. One day, I mean, all it takes is fire in a bottle one time.
Yeah.
That your post can very well be it. And then all of a sudden, you're going to learn how to do a little bit of ChatGPT AI stuff, and now you might render 1-minute videos once a week or something. You know what I mean? And then you have the coolest material, Ben.
I've got folders of pictures on my phone in my Google. I'm like, oh, these would be great Instagram pictures. And then I sit down, I'll write up a draft, and I'm like, oh, I'll work on it. I'll finish it later.
Ben, I'm going to get you on here again, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Between 3 to 6 months.
Cool.
And I'm going to give you a goal of posting at least 20 pictures on this Experimental Egypt in the next 6 months. And we're gonna have some. It don't even need to be the Experimental Egypt. It could be your own stuff. But I'm gonna get you to start putting some of your cool stuff out there, because you have the things that'll catch, you know, quote unquote, fire in a bottle. You have some cool shit. And because you see it all the time, you might not think it's cool because it's every day for you. You know, it's not every day that people get to mess around with stuff from Egypt. It's not every day that people get to mess around with stuff from the 1800s. It's not every day that people get old lampshades from the 30s and 40s and fix them up and make them cool again. I
don't know if reupholstery is the right word, but I'm gonna reupholster those lampshades. They're gonna be pretty cool.
Like, not everybody has come from a dad who's a helicopter mechanic. Like, your dad builds helicopters from the ground up, literally. Like, you just come from a lineage of really smart, extremely put together people.
Yeah, and we got some good stock in there.
Yeah, you definitely have great stock in your genes.
Both sides of the family.
For sure. Your mom's a brilliant healthcare worker. I mean, she's not a dumb lady by any stretch of the imagination.
No, my mom's pretty smart.
Yeah, I know. I've plenty of conversations the three of us, you know, and even just like just the little things she does. Like I remember one time when she got, you know, just the fruit and she was putting it in the strainer and using like the Dove soap, and then she had it soaking in the extra pot of water. She just went to show us like all the stuff that's floating and like
Yeah.
the layers of dirt that was coming off with the different types of chemicals and stuff. And it's just like, I mean, it's not hard to do stuff, but it's like the awareness. It's like she's a smart lady, you know. It was,
Yeah.
and it was before this whole COVID thing. It was before like washing your hands was as detrimental to society as everybody thought
Yeah.
it was in 2019. You know, this was like 2017. She was like doing this stuff, and it was just like your mom is a lady that's I feel like has always been ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You know, and where your dad has always been the guy where it's like no problem is a big problem.
Oh, my dad can solve problems. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So it's just like you come from a lineage of people that are extremely smart and have cool things, and you got to start posting on it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the last post I put on Instagram was I don't know. I was scraping concrete splashes off of a copper roof on a building in downtown Philly. And we were tethered up to like a drainage pipe or something up there, like it was the only anchor point. And I was like, this would be funny to post this with up on the roof playing in the background. So I did, and I'm like, this is funny. It's fun. It's goofy.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
And I vibe with that.
You have always done that. And the second you started saying that, I was like, yeah, you know what? Even like the music you listen to is unconventional. Your lifestyle is unconventional. And I think that's why it's fun. I think that's why you're a person who I'm extremely, I don't want to use the word attracted to because I'm not obviously attracted to you, but I'm attracted.
It's okay if you want to.
No, but I'm attracted to you in the sense that like your lifestyle is intriguing to me. Like all the old stuff that you get into and all the hobbies that you get into were like the same hobbies that like I've always thought were just like neat. Or like when like I walked into your garage the one time, I'm like, you have a lot of shit. I'm like, you have a lot of cool shit actually. So it was always just like instantly I was like, this motherfucker's got it. You know, he just gets it. And I think because you live that life every day, you don't realize it.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I've always had this vision of myself as this old guy that's just got like this maybe like a junkyard full of all these interesting things, and people come over like, hey, do you have a? Yep, I got it. It's right over there, you know, and pull it up. And look at this. This is George Washington's first pair of shoes, and you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some eclectic mixture of.
So what do you collect?
Everything. No, I don't know.
Do you have an actual collection of things that you
do.
like to collect?
So I'm real big into military stuff. I have several binders full of U.S. military and other military patches. I've been like collecting them since I was.
I have something for you, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Stay right there.
Yeah, I've been collecting those since I was. I don't know, 9 or 10. Always been pretty big into that stuff and reenacting. So I got all the uniforms, all the equipment. Firearms, I have a small collection of. I like historic firearms, you know, military stuff, and
This is not at all scripted. I didn't intend for this. I didn't even know that this was going to be a thing until literally this second. But Ben, I have some shit for you here.
what do you got?
You can keep all of it. I have a bunch of pins here.
Oh yeah, that's looks like Captain.
I have a few of those.
Yeah.
I have a SA pen.
Ooh.
What is that?
Can I see that? I'm not sure.
I have an Eagle
It's
pen.
pretty new, pretty modern. It's either an SA or a VS.
I like SA better because he reminds me of my Mexican brothers and sisters. I have 2 Eagles. Check this one out.
Wow, these are pretty nice. Really good shape.
And I don't know, maybe a tie clip of some sort.
Yeah, it looks like a tie clip.
But you can have them.
Wow, thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Where did you get these? Are they like family pieces?
No.
Or?
Me and Mick thought we were gonna go to auctions and create an internet page and resell shit on auction stuff, and well, you can have it.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, I'd rather give it to you knowing that you appreciate that stuff
Oh, yeah,
rather than sell it to somebody for what, $10?
Yeah, there's a good home for these.
Yeah. So even if you already have them or whatever, I'm sure you can melt your grandfather might be able to melt them down into bullet casings.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
Probably not.
Whatever you want to use them for, they're yours.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Steve.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah, I've got a fledgling collection of pins, so these will be a really nice addition.
So what else do you collect? You collect stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot of like military stuff. I wouldn't say I have a very complete collection, but I'm working on it. I mean, you've seen some of the stuff I have.
You know what I want to start to collect? American flags. I want to get like old ones. I want to get ones with like the yellow frills around it. I want to get the Betsy Ross kind. I want to get like original ones like before the 13 colonies, like when they were just starting to try to see what was cool and what wasn't.
You guys should come down. The Museum of the American Revolution is putting on a special exhibit, Flags of the Revolution.
That would be cool.
For like the first time, I think, ever or in a very long time, all these flags are on display together.
That'd be fun.
I definitely got to go see it.
Yeah, well, keep me in the loop for that.
Yeah,
because
I'll shoot you a text. We should come down. You could hang out with us in Germantown.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Go get some lunch or something.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, man. So
well, we've been doing this for an hour and 50 minutes, Ben.
Went pretty quick.
Yeah. Do you want to cash out or?
I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can. We could probably set this down for now. I mean, sure. we went over a good bit. I think we covered a good bit of ground.
Yeah, I hope I didn't. I'm sure if I go back and rewatch it, I've butchered a lot of things that I was trying to explain.
But... Oh, I doubt it. I feel like I'm good for once a show for getting my thought process. I need to get like alpha brain or something. But I like start talking and then I ramble about something and I forget what the main topic was.
Yeah. I was trying to explain what materials engineering is, and I was like, I don't think anybody's ever actually asked me that before.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah. No, you're good though. But I did enjoy this. I really enjoyed you coming over early. We ate some pizza, shot some guns. Super enjoyable.
Yeah.
You saw the new truck, the new old 1999 Dodge.
A beast of a truck.
Yeah, she got a little problems here, a little tinkering needs to be done with it, but you know, it was enjoyable to see you. I don't think I've seen you since my wedding.
Yeah, maybe once since then.
Yeah, possibly, but
I don't even. You saw Chelsea at your guys' baby shower.
Yes.
And yes. I don't think I crossed paths with you then. So.
No,
it's been.
Yeah, it's probably been about a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because my wedding anniversary was March. Yeah, March 15th. Oh, I almost got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble.
315.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a year, Ben.
Wow. Well,
we're gonna make it. We're gonna catch up in a couple months.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. We will. We'll get back into just shooting the shit. We'll shoot more guns next time. We'll get more bullets.
I'll bring some of the older pieces that I have.
Okay. Yeah. And hey, maybe this time I can even bring my stuff down to you or whatever. It doesn't matter. I've been thinking like this show doesn't necessarily need to be here. You know, I might even bring this outside once or twice. Might do a poolside episode.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Might do an episode outside and shoot some guns in between a couple segments and come on back. Like just do like keep the camera rolling, but just make it like a quick, like if we're out there for, I don't know, 30 minutes, just make it into 30 seconds. Like a quick time lapse. Into 30 seconds, just pop, 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 and then we come back. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've been thinking about just kind of switching it up. I don't know how much I don't know how much I need to be locked down to this space.
Yeah, try new things.
Yeah.
See what works out.
Yeah, I was talking about possibly getting it's Keith's grandfather. I was like, well, I can go up to him. You know, he lives like 3 hours away. Why would I make some guy in his 80s drive 3 hours down here? Yeah. Holy hell, baby, scared me. My wife just came home. Hi, Peanut. Oh, she's up. Oh. Hi, Peanut. Hello. Hi. It's okay. We're getting off right now. Yeah, we were just doing our buys. Yeah. Okay, it's good to see you. I'll say hello. Yeah. We're saying bye and Mick's saying hi. So, hey, we're going to get off. I'm going to go give my baby a big old hug and kiss. And then I'm going to give my wife a hug and kiss. All right, Ben. Thank you for coming over.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
I really appreciate it. And
let's
like
do
I
it
said,
again.
we're going to have to. And you're going to have to post more pictures on your social media here because you definitely have the recipe. All right, guys. See ya.